3, 2, 1, go.
So that was the first time we're doing, we need to give it a name. How about Story in a Can? On the very first episode of Story in a Can, we came up with a simple story idea about nervous wrestlers in a public toilet. That story idea was released as our latest film, Backstage. This is the uncut version of us coming up with the idea live and on the spot. And if you haven't seen Backstage yet, there is a link in the description below.
So what we have is our character is a medium, like a psychic.
He's fighting me with a medium.
The location is a public toilet.
Captain Fade, Bobby Jazzler, this is your 2-minute call.
And then there's an object of some kind, which is a fly swatter.
Oh, that's the spirit, Jackie boy!
And the scenario is someone's doing a walk of shame.
What about the fly swatter isn't an object? The fly swatter is actually a wrestler called the fly swatter. And
But where's the wrestling?
right, the fly swatter is against the medium, and this is the pre-match, right, where they're actually like next to each other, and the fly swatter says to medium, because the medium is also a wrestler,
Okay.
and they're both in the public toilet, and they're talking.
Well, maybe it's the public toilet is, you know, one of those backstage toilet things. That
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
banging.
And one of them says to that, you know, I can't do this anymore. I'm not a real psychic. So he has to do the walk of shame. He's contemplating with the other guy, being like, you know what, I can't do this anymore.
So it's one of them going, I can't be a wrestler anymore, in the toilet kind of thing.
They're like in the cubicles next to each other, and he's like injecting himself
Because
with
it's
steroids or something.
because it's like the big match, and he's
Aye.
getting nervous, so he's in the public toilet because he's, you know, and
And they're talking about, he's talking about leaving, which is the walk of shame. Like, I'm gonna quit. I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, that gets there. So what we've come up with is a story about, obviously these are,
That's technically an object, but we're cheating a little bit.
so that's, yeah, it's technically an object, but I think with this there's no rules. You can kind of, as long as you're creating a story from these type of things, it's fine. It's a little bit cheating, but so we've got our main character, the medium.
Yeah.
And we've decided a medium he's a wrestler.
Yeah, and he's like the best wrestler out of all of them.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like, who's that wrestler who wears black clothes?
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker, yeah.
So he's like
the medium.
The
and
medium,
like he's
so-
like in psychic, yeah. And
yeah. So
kill
he's
you with
like
his-
one of those old school wrestlers.
Yeah.
And obviously a fly swatter, he's also another wrestler, but because he doesn't really have a cool name,
Yeah.
so and he's not, he can't be a wrestler anymore because people kind of take the fun of him, take the fun out of him. So both of these characters are getting ready for the big match, but the fly swatter is he's confessing that he doesn't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, and they're both inside the backstage public toilet. Well, it's not really a public toilet. We're cheating with this as well.
Yeah.
They're in the backstage, in the toilet, both in the cubicles, both relieving themselves before they have to start.
And I think the medium convinces the fly swatter to carry on because
which is the walk of shame.
yeah, because he does just for the money, I suppose.
Yeah.
And he goes on this walk of shame, which will be to the ring to go to the match.
Yeah, so the medium's like, he's old, sort of grizzled type guy, and he's going to retire quite soon, but he's had a career in professional wrestling, which is the fake type. We're not talking about Olympic wrestling.
Like WWE.
Aye.
WWF.
And then the fly swatter, he's almost like a novelty character.
Yeah.
And he's young, and he just needs to get paid. He was maybe like an athlete or a gymnast or something, so he's really good at like chucking himself about in the ring. And he's saying,
but he's got a really bad name, doesn't he?
He's called the Fly Swatter. He's one of the most rubbish wrestlers, and none of the kids want to buy his action figure.
Yeah.
And that's why he wants to do the walk of shame, but he's telling them not to do it.
Yeah.
And they're sort of both sitting on the toilet. He's probably being sick.
Yeah.
This guy's maybe injecting something into his legs or something.
Yeah, to make him performance enhancing. So we've got character, which is our two main characters, the medium and the fly swatter. The conflict is he doesn't want to be a wrestler anymore, and the goal is, I suppose, the medium convincing them not to do that.
Yeah.
And just telling them to hang in there.
Yeah.
And
so it'll resolve with him either walking out on stage, you know, as the fly swatter, or walking out the back door as Jerry Monahan.
Just Jerry Monahan, you heard it here first. So that was 4 different ones. We kind of cheated on that one, but
it's alright, as long as you get a little story out of it.
And that's not too bad, because I think the dynamic between the different wrestlers and everything. So
see, we never would have come up with anything like that.
No, not wrestlers.
If we hadn't. See, we've just came up with a 1-scene film that we could easily shoot. That could be a 10-page script. That.
Yeah, and you don't.
You know what we should do? We should pin them on the wall. We should get another post-it, put it on, think of a name.
And then when we need a film idea, I can't think of anything. What have we got on the list?
Oh, the fly swatter.
The fly swatter with the wrestlers. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. If you're struggling to find ideas for a film, give Story in a Can a good go. Sometimes you get rubbish ones, and sometimes those rubbish ones really do work. And if you want to watch Backstage, the link is on screen now and in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.